Track Titan is the fastest way to become a better sim racer, with highly personalized insights assuring that you get the coaching that you need. Track Titan automatically records your driven laps and lets you pinpoint exactly where you're making mistakes, where you're losing time, and how you can fix it. When you sign up with Track Titan, you'll be able to analyze your driving, learn about tracks in the academy, and participate in driving challenges and community races.
And leaping off the line whilst Ryan needs to defend from Maxi 7, and Maxi 7's up, and Maxi 7's well up.
Allowing you to improve your sim racing at your own pace and in a friendly and helpful community. The Track Titan analysis doesn't just show you exactly
Right there, everybody, welcome along and thank you for joining me today. You can see that we are here today, of course, Helheim Racing, back at it once more on the Sunday. It is round 7 and you can't see so good at the moment, but you should be able to see in a moment. We are out here in Mexico. What a track and what a lineup of drivers we've got to do it with. 14 people joining us today. We would have had Critical Presence joining us in the commentary box, but unfortunately we've had some technical issues at the very end and wasn't able to happen. But yeah, but we should still get some good commentary, and Critical will be in the chat with us tonight. So that's very nice that he is joining us. Unfortunately, he can't be here today, but still lurking around in the chat with 16 minutes then of qualifying. Today is set out to be a good one then, everybody. There's 14 people here, not as many as we normally get, but I mean, what a track it is, and a very, very long run down into the first corner, which is going to provide some brilliant opportunities for some overtakes and good racing action, and that is definitely what we strive for here at Helheim. But most importantly is the cleanness of the racing, and that is what these guys specialise in. As Elmes then towards the line, what can the Haas do? We'll see then. The Haas of Elmes is going to be heading down towards turn 1 here in Mexico. The very, very long run down into turn 1, might I add. It is huge, and he is doing great so far on his lap, but the true teller of it is when he heads towards the end of the first sector line, which he is about to do just now. Elmes 85 then in his Haas is done a 28.343 on this lap, ladies and gentlemen, and is he going to be able to continue the form through the rest of it? That is the question that is worth asking. Of course, it was fastest in the first sector because he is the first man to actually do so. But let's see what he can do heading through the end of the middle sector here in Mexico. Elmes then, he's done the first, he's into the end of the second now. It's a 56.566, and it isn't the fastest in the middle sector. Elmes is going to head towards the end of this lap then through the stadium section. Crazy Hurdler with a 1 minute 15.236. He is on provisional pole in the early stages of qualifying. Here comes Elmes 85. The Haas car into P2, 1 minute 15.561, and he puts it 3/10 slower than Crazy Hurdler's time. So he was fastest in the first sector, was rated with a 1 minute 15.0. RJ with the new name in the league. It's a 1 minute 14.904. Kick Melody with a very nearly a 1 minute 15 flat in second place then here in qualifying. It was a very nice time for Melody there, and very nearly perfection with the 1 minute 15 flat, but he's a 10th away from RJ's time, and the two McLarens locking out the front row of the grid at the moment. But we are very much in the early stages of qualifying, still got a while to go, and do not make any conclusions yet because we've got a long time to get your laps in. But joining us today then, everybody, we've got, of course, RJ in the McLaren, Keep Melody, of course, as well, rated in 3, Crazy Hurdler 4, Elmes 5, Peter 6, Remurderer in 7, is on air with Mike, just goes up to 5, then we've got Gambit in 9, very fast driver here at Helheim, T-Pain in 10, JC 11, Betty 12, Venom 13, and Back Me God. That is everybody that is joining us today here, and of course in the chat, Critical Presence mentioning RJ, and credit to him. But 5 people then joining us today to watch this, and hello to you, or if you're watching this back after it has been streamed live, hello to you too, and I hope you really do enjoy what is going to come. There's 14 people, a very long run down into turn 1. It spreads the whole entire length of the track. It is huge, and yeah, I mean, we're definitely going to see some overtakes down into turn 1. The person that starts on pole is most likely not going to be leading once we get down into that first corner. Rated F1 is in P3 and down on time. On air with Mike is this man up then as we head towards the end of the second sector in the RB. No, he's 6.5 seconds down, so that's his in-lap at the moment. Remurder is down on time quite a lot as well. JC is out on an out lap there, and you know what, we might as well just sit along and watch him. He's got Betty behind him as well, so we'll see Betty as they both head up towards the line. Both of them now starting their flying laps here in Helheim Racing in Mexico, ladies and gentlemen, for round 7 this season. It's been a lovely season so far, it really has. And let's just hope that we can keep getting some stuff like that. As you watch this lap, I'm going to quickly see what stats I can get of the, where is it, the last race, driver standings. I think these are the updated ones. 20th, yes, that is the updated standings. Right, so everybody at the moment ahead is in the Mercedes. I think that's, yeah, Betty, of course, the league owner. The last time I commentated, Betty drove a brilliant race. It was absolutely brilliant, and he's currently leading the championship then with 130 points. Kick Melody's behind that, then Makes in third. Then you've got On Air with Mike, fourth, Rated F1 5, Big Bazoom 6, Eldo 7. JC, who we're actually on the lap with right now, is in 8th on points. And let's see what he can do here in qualifying. He's fastest in the middle sector in that Sauber. JC then in the Sauber, heading towards the end of this lap here in qualifying. 10 minutes to go. He's got a while still to do another one, but it's provisional pole for now, and that is brilliant for JC. 1 minute 14.777, all the sevens, and he gets up to provisional pole then, and the top spot here in qualifying so far. Very nicely done for JC, ladies and gentlemen, who is ahead and leading. But of course today, you see us out in Mexico on the 26th of January 2025. And then next week is Azerbaijan. I'm not so sure what people think about Baku. It isn't always great. It sometimes is, though. It can definitely vary. So we have to see what that one's like next week. Betty is currently in P5 after his qualifying time as well. Critical, lucky number 7 for JC, absolutely. JC, it was a brilliant qualifying time. He is up there at the moment and on provisional pole here in qualifying. 9 minutes and 50 seconds to go. Betty, 5th then. Elmez in 8th and out on the lap, who was actually invalidated this one around, so it won't really mean anything. Venom in the garage, Peter and Remurder in the garage too. Gambit, though, is one man that is heading down into turn 1 with a bit of battery left. I'm not too sure if this is a lap that he's on now or not, but we'll see as he heads towards the end of the first sector. He's pushing this car. This is definitely a lap. This is not a slow lap. As the DRS gets activated for Gambit, and he heads towards the end of the first sector line. It's 3.2 faster than what he did when he's down in P13. It is also fastest first sector for Gambit. Can he continue the form through the big windy section here in Mexico? It can catch many people out. Will it catch Gambit out? It takes the right amount of curve on the left, to the right, swinging to the left. Again, it's like a pinball heading through the track then. Gambit in the Mercedes, 3rd in the World Championship standings. He's got a good shot today in qualifying to do better. He's fastest in the middle sector too. He's done he's done 10 seconds quicker, in the middle sector. Fastest middle, fastest first. Can he get the final sector fastest as well? And can he maybe get himself up there in the top spots today? Over the line in Mexico, it is Gambit to 2nd place. It is marginally behind JC by not even a 1/10 of a second there. Very close time so far. And that is the pace we're expected to see that Critical Presence is on about. Let's keep seeing that, because that is the kind of pace that gets it exciting. Rated is out there again in qualifying, end of the second sector he goes. It is nearly half a second up for Rated F1. What a time it will be. Half a second up, it'll be provisional pole. It'll be provisional pole for Rated if he can get it. Here comes the Red Bull then. Here comes the right-hander. Here comes the final corner. Rated, has he continued the form towards the line? Rated to provisional pole. We knew he could do it, and he's absolutely gone and shown us what he's made of. It's a 1/10 faster than JC, and Rated is on provisional pole here in Mexico. What a time from the Red Bull. That was perfectly executed as we continue to watch. We've got RJ now out there on the track as well. Can he do anything other than he high up the grid? He's P4 at the moment. The two McLarens are doing great, but we know there's more pace in these drivers. And like Crit was on about, let's see the second wave of pace, because wow, what racing so far, what qualifying times we have been getting. They have been great, and hopefully they can continue this form because the times are unmatched. Here we go then, 7 minutes to go. RJ in the McLaren, 1 minute 14.9 is his fastest time, and he's going to do his absolute best to get himself higher when he goes round again. He's in the pit lane. We'll see what he can do. Is Kick Melody out there and down. Crazy hurdler into the end of the second sector. Is he on a flying lap? No, he's not. He's down on time actually for quite a lot. Betty though, here we go. We missed his lap earlier on. Let's go for it now, shall we? Betty in the Mercedes. The last race that I commentated on here in Helheim, he did a very good race. He won it, took the fastest lap, I think he took pole position that day as well. It was a brilliant weekend, brilliant Sunday for Betty. But here we go. What is this man capable of today? We missed his first qualifying time. That time was in the 1 minute 15s, where if you want to be at the top, you've got to be in the 1 minute 14s. And you know, most drivers now are, I say most, only race at the moment, he's getting himself right down nearly into the lower 1 minute 14s, but Betty is faster in the middle sector, and he's going to try and continue this form all the way through to the end here in Mexico. Betty towards the line. Oh, he messes that up at the very end. It's P7, he's 3 tenths down. He loses all of the time he gained, but it was going to be fast for Betty. It just makes you wonder, doesn't it, what he had in store for us there. It would have been brilliant. And in terms of the championship, that man, it would have really helped him to try and solidify where he is. He's currently leading the championship with 130 points. He's got 6 points between him and Kick Melody. Kick is he's up in P5 at the moment, so he was going to be doing better than Betty. But 5 minutes to go, everybody, and everything can change. Everything will change. Everything can change. That is what may happen, could happen, might happen. But we've got Back Me God, who has invalidated this lap around as he heads round the final corner. He'll head towards the line here in qualifying, but he goes into the pit lane as Peter is down on time out there on the track as well. Venom in the pit lane and Remurderer out on track and down too. But T-Pain was down by 12. Was down by, sorry, 100th in the middle sector towards the line. It's a 1 minute 16. It's very slow indeed. And P13 is what he has earned there. It's not really good enough for him. Remurderer up by 200ths of a second then in the first sector. It's not going to be good enough for him. He's at a 1 minute 16.8, and he's only just improving by a small margin. We're going to head towards the end of this middle sector, the big windy left and right. It's like a pinball through there. He's up by half a second. Fair play, but he's still in the 1 minute 16s with a half a second up, so it isn't looking too good for a murder at the moment. He's in P14. In the 1 minute 16s, where you need to be in the 1 minute 14s to be right up there. 1 minute 15s maybe if you want to be mid-pack. But Remurderer is most likely going to stay at the back if you can't find any more time. He gets himself to P13. It's nearly a 4/10th improvement, but he's still 1 minute 16.4 unfortunately. And it isn't looking entirely fast for Remurderer at the moment. But rated F1, the man on provisional pole, is in the pit lane. And I'm sure waiting, deciding when he's going to come out to go again with 3 minutes of qualifying left. Yeah, that's good input to be fair. Now I think about it, because I guess we have got a lot of rapid drivers up at the front there putting in 1 minute 14s. It is quick times, but props to the guys at the back because still decent times here in qualifying, and of course hopefully they can improve. But heading down then on their laps, I think there's a Mercedes on lap. Back Me God is on a out lap at the moment. Kick Melody is up by 0.2 of a second then, round the final corner. Let's watch this one, shall we? P5 is what's been best for him so far. Over the line, it's provisional pole, 1 minute 14.598. That was a very strong time indeed. It was unexpected, it was spectacular. He's second in the championship, and that is really going to help him on his hopes and dreams of taking the lead in the World Championship standings. Kick Melody with a very strong qualifying time. Now goes RJ, his teammate. Let's watch him along. Passing the baton over. Here comes RJ then with the DRS through the first sector towards the end of it. Can he improve? Can he find any time? DRS fully activated. It's 0.08 of a second down in the first sector. Nearly a 10th down in the first sector for RJ. It's a 1 minute 14.9 at the moment. A very fast lap for the McLaren. His teammate just put it on provisional pole with a very, very fast lap. Can his teammate RJ do anything about it? Can this man try and get himself up there? Lock the front row out? Maybe? No, he can't. It's invalidated, unfortunately. That is it. Creating the chat as a Helheim steward, I have had to step out of this the first time ever because I honestly couldn't hit 1 minute 17 and would have caused carnage. Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. You know what? I think that's very respectable there, what you've done there. You know, in the interest of the league, it is very, very wise. But 1 minute to go of qualifying, the final showdown. Many people coming out now for their final times. Gambit is on his lap, 40% battery in his car, and he is going to push it to the line. What can he do here in qualifying? P4 is his fastest time so far, with 45 seconds left here in qualifying for Helheim Racing. It is round 7. And it's all looking pretty close. Gambit locking up then into the left-hander. That's not what he wants to do at all. But he's still going to try and continue the lap on. He's feeding the car to the right now into the pinball section, to the left and right again. Very disorientating, and also can be very hard to control. But nothing phases Gambit at the moment. He won the World Championship. He is a fast driver, and he's got nothing to live up to anymore, but he's 0.004 of a second down in the middle sector. He's going to head towards the end of this lap. Gambit in the Mercedes with a 1 minute 14.8. He's got a 10th between him and JC ahead. Can he find any time to make him any higher on that leaderboard? Kick Melody on provisional pole then after qualifying concludes. 3rd place for Gambit after improving by a 10th. It was a good qualifying time. Rated up by nearly 2/10 then in the middle sector. Here comes the Red Bull. Rated 2nd place is best for him. He's up by 2/10. He's in the pit lane. It could have been pole. It could have been pole for Rated F1. But he had to go into the pit lane. Betty is down on time at the moment in the middle sector. JC in the stadium section is ahead. He is absolutely ahead. Here comes JC towards the line. It's provisional pole again for JC. He is back up there again. He took it earlier on, and he's took it once more. 1 minute 14.307. We are very much now in the low 1 minute 14s, and that is something very impressive. Back me God into the pit lane, and JC takes pole position here in Mexico. Melody 2nd place. Rated takes 3rd. Gambit 4. Betty 5. But wow, everybody. JC, 1 minute 14.3. It is huge. It is a huge time. Very, very respectable. Put your hands together for that man, because he deserves all the credit today. Taking pole in qualifying in the Sauber. And if you look at his rear wing, hashtag unleashed. He was absolutely unleashed today. Nobody could stop this man in qualifying. Next up is the Grand Prix, everybody. What a start to this stream. Here we go then. Mexico City Grand Prix. It is qualifying, and JC took pole position from Kick Melody in 2nd place. That's going to help him in his championship, to be fair, as he's currently sat 2nd in that standings. Rated F1 in 3rd with Gambit 4. Betty 5 then. Crazy Hurdler 6. RJ in 7. On air with Mike 8. Elmes 9. And Back Me God then in 10th position. And rounding off that top 10. Awesome qualifying, everybody. Absolutely brilliant. You should all be very happy with yourselves for the times you have set. I am not really familiar with the lap times around there. And of course, Crit just said in the chat that he can't reach the 1 minute 17s. I think he said he can't get in the 1 minute 17s. Yeah, he couldn't hit a 1 minute 17, and you know what? I've got so much respect for these drivers. The times they put in is huge, and they must put so much effort behind the scenes to get where they are. You know, they need all the credit. They need all the credit they can get. They absolutely do. But Grand Prix will be starting soon. I just want to see when we are starting. I always forget. Do we have a break here or not? I don't think we do. But some more before the race starts, couple minutes. Well, in that minutes, of course, if you guys know, it's pretty new news now, but I am partnered with Track Titan, everybody now. So Track Titan, it's a brilliant software. If you need to improve, it will track your laps. It'll tell you where you need to improve. It will tell you where you're down on time. It will give you suggested setups. It is a brilliant software if you are aiming to improve, and they're just absolutely great. They really are. Using my link, which I'm going to put in the chat, you will get a 30-day free trial and also 30% off your first month when you pay for the subscription. So if you are interested, the link is there. And before we start, I'm going to leave you with the sponsorship video.
Track Titan is the fastest way to become a better sim racer, with highly personalized insights assuring that you get the coaching that you need. Track Titan automatically records your driven laps and lets you pinpoint exactly where you're making mistakes, where you're losing time, and how you can fix it. When you sign up with Track Titan, you'll be able to analyze your driving, learn about tracks in the academy, and participate in driving challenges and community races.
And leaping off the line whilst Ryan needs to defend from Max 7, and Max 7's up, and Max 7's well up.
Allowing you to improve your sim racing at your own pace and in a friendly and helpful community. The Track Titan analysis doesn't just show you exactly where you're losing time, but also what faster drivers are doing differently than you, from racing lines to steering inputs. This way you're not only made aware of your mistakes, but you're also given a solution to fix them. In the Academy, you can learn all about different tracks, how to properly drive them, test your knowledge, and of course, beat the driving challenge. And we've also built up a wonderful community of sim racers who love to help each other out, share stories, videos and pictures, and who participate in the weekly hot lap challenges and races. With even more features coming in the future, be sure to check out Track Titan with a link in the description, or head over to tracktitan.io to sign up.
Right then, everybody, welcome back. And if you've just watched that video and it is something that interests you, the link is in the chat. I'll just go over it again. You get a 30-day free trial when you click on that link and log in. If you register, it is completely free, 30-day free trial. And if you continue to carry on with that plan, you get 30% off your first month, which means it should be £4 for your first month, which I'd say pretty great. So if you're interested, definitely show me some support. It helps me out, keeps the streams going, and it's equally helps you guys as well with your driving. So yeah, thank you very much for listening to that section. But the Grand Prix should be starting soon, which of course you are all here for, and hopefully we'll get going in a few moments time. Helheim is always great for racing. That one Sunday where I joined in Austria and it got me hooked, it really did. Brilliant racing that day in Austria. It really, really was. I think Gambit won that race that day, and you know, to this day, I don't know how these guys race so well, but you can't complain. Brilliant stuff. Right, we should be going in a moment then, everybody. The Grand Prix to start soon here in Mexico City. Massive long run down into turn one. Uncle Lando turning up in the chat. How you doing, mate? We are readying up now, says the big boss in the chat. Thanks for being here, mate. You're really, really helping me know what's going on. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much. But Strap in, get yourselves ready, everybody. Helheim Racing is about to begin here in Mexico. It is 2, 3, 4, 5 lights for round 7. And in Mexico City, we are away. It's lights out and away we go. JC in the Sauber. Has he got a good start down into turn 1? He has. And that is what he needs down into the lead, because it's a very, very long run. And you can see already this is looking carnage down into the first corner. 3 abreast then at the backside there. It's Melody into second. Gambit into third. Rated F1 trying to get through into 4th position. Crazy Hurdler is in on the action too. Betty as well moving down the grid is into 5th position. But a brilliant start from some of the drivers here at the moment. Elmer's trying to chase down Crazy Hurdler. Can he make the move? No, he can't. He drops back very much there. Isn't able to make that move. But here we go then. JC in the Sauber has absolutely handled that start like a champ. He is out there today leading with a 7th, 10th gap. He held the lead down into the very long turn 1. He somehow survived. Kick Melody behind him. He was able to hold him off. It is very impressive so far in this Grand Prix. Gambit, though, is in P3. And I've got a slight feeling he might be able to gain and catch Melody at some point. Melody second in the World Championship standings. Gambit third in the World Championship standings. And he's right there on the back side of him, trying to make that move. Everybody, this is going to be great. It really is. Then heading on to the second lap of the race. We got word in with Venom experiencing some mechanical difficulties with his rig. To his RSP will definitely cost him a lot. Yeah, it absolutely will. Kick Melody, though, into the lead of the Grand Prix. Into the lead. JC dropping down to second. Behind that as well, we've got Gambit trying down the inside of Rated. And he's ahead, so I think that was Betty, sorry. Yeah, Betty into 4. Great start from everybody here at Helheim so far. Mexico City, the Grand Prix, always serves as well. And it's going great so far with a beautiful helicopter cam from above. We can see Kick Melody trying to drive off into the distance, but JC with the slight bit of string that he's got left attached, just trying to pull him back before he can race off into the horizon. JC, who started on pole position, it was a brilliant time out of absolutely nowhere, shocked us all here in the commentary box and in the chat. Nobody expected it at the very end, and now he's going to go for the race lead. It's the inside line for the Sauber, and the Saubers took it. He is through, going a bit wide there, leaving it open for the McLaren, who goes back around the outside, and Kick Melody is back again in the lead of this Grand Prix. It's brilliant stuff going back and forth between both drivers at the moment, and this is what we like to see. In the World Championship standings, the McLaren team are second, currently leading this race. The Mercedes team are in the lead of the championship standings, and they are nowhere to be seen in 3 and 4. JC, though, into the lead again from Kick Melody in second place. It is a brilliant, brilliant move down into turn 1, and this is exactly what I was saying in qualifying. We will definitely get some overtakes going into there. We really, really will. Which is, you know, it's the best part of the track. It absolutely is. Biggest overtaking opportunity, and the two Mercedes, are having a very nice tussle in P3 and P4. Lap 3 of 36 then, everybody. 33 laps to go, and make sure you're looking forward to it, because it's going to be good. It really is. 14 people, and some people would say, oh, the attendance isn't enough, but with 14 here at Helheim, that is more than enough, because these guys know how to race. These guys know what it's all about, as Gambit goes a little bit wide there in his Mercedes going into the stadium section, unfortunately. But on the lap 3, JC is still leading. Melody trying to catch him down into turn 1. JC also picks up the fastest lap of the race. As you can see, position changes. JC is where he started. Melody is too, but maybe not for longer, because he goes down the inside. He tries his chances, and it works out for him this time around into turn 1. Kick Melody in the McLaren, doing his team proud, leading this Grand Prix for another time around. Nobody with the pit stops yet, of course, but tyres are, of course, looking all the same. We've got Kick Melody on the hards then at the moment. JC on the mediums, also Betty on the mediums. The two Mercedes boys opted for 2 different strategies then, with Gambit being on the hards, so he will be going a bit longer than Betty, so we'll see how that works out in this race. Of course, strategies are going to definitely vary between the teams here in Mexico as they make their way through the middle sector and towards the final sector. Let's see what is going to come out of this one then. As lap 4 of 36 has come around. We're going to go around to lap 5 pretty soon. Melody and JC. Oh, it was looking close, wasn't it, from JC? He is right there on the backside of Melody. And we will have a look at some battles from behind in a moment. I just want to quickly see how this one plays out because JC, who started on pole, is going to go back at it again on the McLaren of Kick Melody. Can he go back to where he started? He's going to go and get the slipstream. He's going to get the inside line. Everything he needs. He ticks it off and he's down into the lead of the Grand Prix once again. Betty now challenging Kick Melody, try and go down the inside. It's the two Mercedes though that find themselves P3 and P4 back together again. He can't make the move stick. Melody holds on to second place, lap 5 of 36. Are we going to get more battles from behind? This is what we like to see, isn't it? Betty then going round into second place. What a move! I'm speechless. Betty into second place. He has been driving great. And the last one I commentated, I think it was round 5, he was driving exceptionally well. Better than I have ever seen him in my life here at Helheim Racing. But Betty in second place. He won the Grand Prix. Can he win one again? He is going to be chasing down JC with a 1.3 second gap. The battle for the top 4 is absolutely on. The challenge is set. And we can't wait to watch it unfold then at the front of this grid. Moving a bit down the grid, see if we can find any more action that's going on. Maybe this is a very nice battle here. Peter and T-Pain, P11 and 12. Ooh, Peter with a bit of rear tyre spinning there, and also the Williams of Murderer nearly making contact with another 3-second penalty. We just saw him put one up earlier on as well. As Venom now back in control of the car with 19 seconds. He's got to gain up towards Murderer. He could really do with the safety car then in this race, but there's 30 laps to go, a long while before the end. He heads through the stadium section. He can hear the cheers of the crowd trying to roar him on as he continues on in this race. The determination from this man is brilliant, really. Carrying on, he's going to try and compete with everything he's got today. He was in AI mode for a while. He's back to driving now, and let's see what he can do in the rest of this race, really. But here we go. JC still leading then as he went down into turn 1 a moment ago. He is still the man ahead. Kick Melody is in second and still holding on by that string I was talking about earlier on, just pulling him back every time he tries to pull away. Kick Melody is right there on the backside with a 3/10 gap. All of them on 5-lap-old tyres, but of course the only thing that's different about that is they're all on different tyres. Sorry about that, my voice just completely went. Kick Melody though in second place. The yellow flag's coming out of the back. What's happened here? Somebody gone round. Big contact, Murderer and Peter. Both of them went around there. We've got Murderer coming back onto the track. It wasn't good for him as he brings himself back on, but let's go to the front really quickly. The move for first place is going to be back on. Melody into the lead of the Grand Prix. Gambit getting past his teammate into 3. And Betty dropping all the way down to 4th now. Unfortunately, the highest I've seen him is 2nd, but unfortunately that has all come crashing down. It's lap 7 of 36 then in this Grand Prix, everybody. And a good start so far, I've got to say. I've got to hand it to the boys. It's great. Unfortunately, Critical Presence isn't here with us today, but he is here with us in the chat and giving us some very nice insights into the race, of course, as he has got the voice channel on, and he can tell us anything that happens. But Kick Melody still leads from JC here in the Grand Prix, and we're going to continue on with this. JC in the Sauber going for the move on Melody. It might just happen again down into turn 1. We're going to head through the stadium section then. JC, like I mentioned earlier on, you see the back of his car, he's got the hashtag unleashed. And that happened in qualifying. Will it happen in the race? Has JC been fully unleashed? Peter retires from the session. Safety car out just before the move was about to happen. He hits the barrier. That was very, very nearly going to be a DNF. That was a very close call, is all I can say. I am speechless from that safety car deployed. It's lap 8 of 36 then in this Grand Prix. the move was just inches away from happening between Kick Melody and JC, but the safety car came out. Peter, unlucky to him, he is out of this race. He is he's no longer with us. We've got 13 people joining us left now. Unfortunately, Peter into the barrier, and we'll see him next round. But inches away from a move. JC as well had to brake, had to slow down because the guy ahead slowed down even quicker than him. He very nearly ended his race into the barrier, and he would have been absolutely distraught about that after a brilliant qualifying. Today is a really good opportunity for him to do better in the World Championship standings. JC currently situated P8, and with qualifying times that he's setting, he should be really replicating that in the race, and you know, he should be higher in the World Championship standings. He did. He retired from the race in the USA. Then came Qatar, and he managed to get himself 31 points. He did very well that day in Qatar. But today is his chance to do even better. He's in second place at the moment. What can he do here in qualifying? Here in the Grand Prix, sorry. Safety car has been deployed. Kick Melody is leading, JC second, and Gambit in third position. Lap 9 of 36, and everybody here for the Grand Prix. Of course, safety car deployed. Everybody really now trying to catch up to the safety car. There's only a few that hasn't really. And let's have a look, shall we, at the pit stops. 3 people decided to do so. Crazy Hurdler, Elmez, and Back Me God. And let's see, them 3 are all on the hards, which is going to be, of course, a different strategy, opting for a different strategy, maybe trying to go to the very end now on them hard compound tyres. We'll see what that strategy is going to be like. Are they going to find themselves benefiting from it or not? Could it all come crashing down? You never actually know in Formula 1, but we'll see what is going to happen in due course, with still a long while left in this Grand Prix, which is good for you guys and good for everybody, because a good bit of racing left. And safety car is out. I'll be back with you in a moment. I've just had a spillage problem all over the floor with my water, so I'll be back in a moment. Right, everybody, back just in time, and the spillage has been That's been cleared up, Crit, in the chat. Simon got too much there. I think so. I didn't even realise it happened until I saw it on the floor. But anyway, lap 10 of 36 then, 26 to go in this Grand Prix. Kit Melody gets a very good start then off the line, the safety car into the pit lane. And JC trying to chase him down into turn 1, of course. Remember, in Mexico, massive long drive down into the lead. And always a massive opportunity for overtaking then down into turn 1. But JC isn't able to do so at the moment. There's a 6/10 gap between 1 and 2. Kick Melody is driving brilliantly. This is going to really help his championship standings then. This race around. Melody currently 2nd place in the championship in his McLaren. Last race scored 33 points. He's on 124. Today he's going to add another good lot of points to his tally, and hopefully you can keep it going. To be fair, I'd be happy with either one. JC as well has been driving good as well. Qualifying for him recently has been very good. Kick Melody, if he wins today, will add 37 points to the tally. And let's have a look who's got the fastest lap as well, shall we, actually, just for a bit of insight. JC. So JC with the fastest lap will be getting a point as well. That is if this stays the same, but of course it can all change in a matter of seconds. 3 people that have made a pit stop so far, everybody, in this race on lap 11 out of 36. The safety car finally went in. We are racing once again. Still got a very long while left in this race, and Melody leading. DRS back enabled now. We can finally start to see some of the battles that have been missing. This battle, though, between Melody and JC was inches away from happening, and then the safety car came out and spoiled the party for the boys at the front, and hopefully we can get that again in Mexico City. There's battle going on behind between Crazy. Oh, someone nearly made contact there. Going into turn 1. I think I've just missed that, but that would have been a huge collision going into turn 1. But the 2 Mercedes boys of Gambit and Betty find themselves in 3 and 4. And Betty is at a bit of risk here from Rated, who is right on the backside with a 3/10 gap. He is looking to make that move then here in Mexico City for Helheim Racing, and the yellow flags are out. I think somebody's gone around in the final sector. There's a very nice battle actually going on here between Elmes and Venom. This man, the safety car has worked wonders for him. He had a rig issue earlier, lost a lot of time, 17 seconds that he needed to gain when he got control of the car again, and he's all of a sudden back into 12, and he's got a chance of being up there in the pack. He's just been battling with Elmes. Safety car very much helped him there. He definitely got a warning from that there actually when he crossed that line. But yeah, brilliant start again to the Grand Prix after we got going with the safety car. But back to the front of the race again then, shall we? And Kick Melody currently leading once more. JC, though, is this time where he can get the overtake, or is Gambit going to try and take advantage of him and get through this time around? It isn't looking like anybody is able to make the move, but behind there is 2 people side by side. Rated into P4, Merdler, with a 3-second penalty. But Rated, with a very nice move down into turn 1, is now into 4th position and driving fairly well. This is a very nice battle, isn't it? Back me God in P9, T-Pain, P10. That would have been a nice battle, and we just about missed it. And JC, up at the top, everybody. He has finally got what he's here for. He is ahead in the race. We've seen it many times earlier on. It's took him a good while to get back where he is. I think Ramurda has gone round at the back of the grid into the barrier. We haven't lost him just yet, but he might retire in the pit lane if the damage is too bad. JC, though, in the lead of the race. His qualifying has been brilliant today. He was absolutely unleashed ahead and took pole position. He's now here today in the Grand Prix, lap 13 of 36, and trying to hold on to the lead of this race. Kick Melody in 2nd position. Gambit is in 3rd. And we've got the very long run down into turn 1. Who's going to take advantage of it on lap 13? Now lap 14 of 36. The DRS activated. JC trying to weave to get the slipstream away from his back. Kick Melody, though, is going to try and gain, and maybe are we going to see the move happen once more? Gambit as well is behind. The move might just happen, though. Kick Melody looked like he was staying back there on purpose. I'm not too sure what was going on there. Peter joins us in the chat. Had no grip whatsoever. It was like driving on ice, which is unfortunate, but he's here in the chat with us today. Can watch what is going to happen on this battle. It looked like Kick Melody was going to make the move there on JC down the main straight, but it looked like he backed off for some reason and doesn't want to make the overtake, but maybe he's got a better area to do so on this race. Rated with a 3-second penalty. That is the first penalty of this race. I think Ramurda got one actually, but that's the second one. Penalties today have been absolutely brilliant. You guys are driving perfectly. Not at half race distance yet, but we won't be far away from that. It'll be about lap 17 or 18 before we get there, and we're on lap 14 at this moment in time. Gambit then down the inside. Gambit to second place. That's a very nice move from the Mercedes, leaving his teammate behind though. Betty down in 5. He's actually struggling, and he's got RJ and Mike as well to try and keep at bay. It's not over yet, because the battles that are happening up at the front is JC, Gambit, Melody, rated F1 as Venom picks up a penalty. In the pit lane goes Betty. Nothing looking like it's going to happen down into the turn 1. Is anything going to happen here? Nothing just as of yet. JC is still ahead, trying to keep Gambit at bay. Melody into second place. JC now down to third. Gambit is ahead. This man is going to be picking up 37 points if he wins today. Where has he came from? 3 positions up from where he started. He's ahead in this Grand Prix on lap 15 of 36. 37 points secured in the bag if he can keep himself there. I think he's got the fastest lap as well. Oh, no, I think that was JC actually. No, but yeah, Gambit is driving brilliantly so far. Out of nowhere, hiding in the shadows till the right time. And the definition of right place at the right time this man is. He's right there into the lead in his Mercedes. He waited patiently for a while behind, and finally the move came around. Lap 15 of 36, particularly around onto lap 16 now. Will give us 20 laps to go in this Grand Prix. And down the straight we go. Melody, we look at that speed on the McLaren. It's going to be good enough for the move then. And he's into the lead of the race once again. Gambit drops down to second, rated in P3. JC's in the pit lane actually, which is quite interesting. He's going to come out of the pit lane now in P9. Maybe lose a bit more positions. No, he won't. He's going to come out P10 now. That is it for JC. On the new hard compound tyres. He's going to run 20 laps on them then to the end of this Grand Prix, and hopefully they work well for him. But the undercut, is it going to work on Melody and Gambit? You never know. There's Roberta with another 3-second penalty then in this race. We've lost Peter and we've still got 13 people joining us today. If you're enjoying this, everybody, next round is Azerbaijan in Baku, of course, a street race on the 29th of January. But I mean, that's gonna be something else, isn't it? In Baku, it can either be really good or really bad with a street race like that. And I think it just depends on the kind of drive you've got as well. But lap 16 of 36. Nice to see everybody in the chat at the moment. As Crit says, Gambit's on fire again for sure. He absolutely is. Gambit is very much well known here. It's a name that you say a lot in Helheim. He's very fast. He's always at the top. And can he find the speed then to get through past Melody? 7/10 behind. It isn't looking like he can do so at the moment. But he does get the DRS activated down into turn 1. But no moves for him so far. Maybe something happening here though. Crazy hurdler on RJ. It's right down the inside for the Sauber. And 4th position is all his. Going down the inside as well was Mike there. It was looking like he was going to make a move, but no. Stays behind. I thought he was going to make that move stick, but no, he had to stay behind. Lap 17 of 36 there, everybody. Still a little while to go. Still a long time for everybody to get their racing in. Uncle Lando in the chat, I've heard that he wants to start racing here as well, so he is a clean driver and he hates dirty driving, of course. I know these guys feel the same, so if Lando could get in, that would be very good. He's in a lot of leagues that I commentate on now. On out with Mike, getting through past RJ. He went off the track there in Mexico City. RJ trying to switch underneath. Can he switch it back then? He switched back twice, but he gets a 3-second penalty as a result of it. Round the final corner, he's going to head into the pit lane. Maybe no, he doesn't. He's on the inside line though, maximising his exit then, trying to make the move on Mike. That was a brilliant exit from RJ. Beautifully executed. Down into 5th now, down into turn 1. The McLaren is up 1 position. He's absolutely done Mike in there. He's behind now and dropping back. But Mike in 5, his teammate in the lead of the Grand Prix. Oh, Lando, our league has Baku 2 on Sunday, so it'll be a double dose. Oh, I'm gonna get Baku twice on the Sunday next week. That is gonna be pain. But anyway, that'll be okay. Yeah, if we can get Lando in the league, that'd be great. But Melody with a 2.3 second gap between him and Gambit, with a beautiful helicopter cam that we've got from the top at the moment. But Melody has really decided to pull away from Gambit at the moment. He is driving brilliantly. Of course, his main competition isn't there anymore. It was JC, who did go into the pit lane. He's trying the undercut, and JC is down in P9. He's made up one position so far since when he pitted. And let's see if he can maybe get himself up there in due course. We've still got a long little while to go. Nearly on to lap 20 now of 36. Through the stadium section we go. And on to the main straight. Lap 19 of 36 then, and Romerdo with a 3-second penalty, but rated is 2.6 now between him and the leader of this Grand Prix. Gambit is in third in the Mercedes. His teammate's down in 10 of Betty. He was right up there earlier on, unfortunately dropped down. He was having a good race. The last race I commentated him with him in, I think he went ahead and won it. He had a really, really good weekend, like I mentioned a few times today. He was definitely the best of the lot on that day. But today, it's looking like Kit Melody's day at this moment in time. JC, it could be his day as well, after going for the undercut into the pit lane, trying to pit earlier than the guys around him to better his strategy once they go into the pit lane. That is how that works. But Gambit then down into turn 1. Can he maybe gain? No, he can't. He's 8 tenths away from rated at the moment. Maybe there's something going on behind, though. This is what we like to see. Is this going to be closer with Mike and RJ? They are pretty close. It's getting closer and closer and closer. The DRS activated, but it looked like Mike slowed down there on purpose a little bit. Elmes getting close then to the backside of the Red Bull of Bat Me God. This is looking like a move that is in the cards. Written in the stars then for Elmes to get through past Bat Me God. Can he go ahead and do that then with 16 laps to go in this Grand Prix? 11 of you here tonight then in the stream chat. It's good to see you all. It's Elmes trying to chase down Bat Me God in the Red Bull. The Haas car doing absolutely everything he can to make his way through. He was right there on the backside. He has done so well at the moment and continuing to do so. But he has got the very, very long main straight then down into turn 1 here in Mexico. That is going to be the prime opportunity to make the overtake. And he's going to try and stay within a second to try and get that done. But here we go then. We're going to head round the final corner here in Mexico. Into the pit lane goes a McLaren and I think it was Mike and RB into the pit lane. It was RJ and Mike as Venom with a 3-second penalty. But carrying on then is going to be everybody else, and the Haas of Elmes going to try and make the move on Bat Me God. Can he do it? He's chasing the Red Bull. He looks like he's slowing down on purpose then, not trying to go through and staying back. But in the chat, Crit says, next wave for the pit stops. Absolutely right. Pit stops are coming in. JC, who went for the undercut, is now in P7. Now the battle between Elmes and Bat Me God finally comes around again. Elmes into P5. He gets through past Bat Me God. And the Haas car into the top 5. The only Haas car here today. The sole Haas car. And unfortunately, no teammate. But he is doing very well for his team, carrying this team on his shoulders. About 21 of 36 has came about. Let's go back to the front, shall we? The 2.8 second gap between Melody and Rated. If you look at the tyres, of course, the drivers at the top 3, they've been out there on them hard for 21 laps, and they're actually maintaining the gap as well. But of course, that is why they're staying out for so long. That is why they're able to be out there for the longest time. They go on the hards for the longest time they can, but of course they don't have as much grip as the mediums or the softs. The mediums mid-range, they can be very, very beneficial, but the time has to be right. And Venom with a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. We've seen that quite a lot. Well, I don't think we've seen it a lot today, but I saw it a lot today in the other league I was in. But Kick Melody in the lead then today. Howardinho in the chat. Oh, how you doing, mate? It's good to see you in there. That's really good, actually. I didn't know you were going to be joining us tonight, but Melody's been driving great. He's got a 3.7 second gap. Sorry, not 3.2 gap to the guy behind, and his pit stop, his pit window will be coming in soon. I'm not sure when that is going to happen, but of course JC went in to perform the undercut, and the guys around him have pitted once, but I think they pitted under the safety car. So JC is going to have some people to easily pass as he heads down the pit straight, and they'll be in the pit lane. Rated now is in the lead of the race as Melody decides to make the pit stop. Gambit decides to make the pit stop too. JC with a penalty as we head down towards turn 1. JC's in 7. He's going to overtake the guys that are in the pit lane at the moment, and JC, after his strategy, is currently up into P5. It is working fairly well for the Sauber. His teammate working better for him at the moment in 2nd place. Rated now, the only driver in the 23 laps that we've had here today has not pitted in this race, and he's 4.4 seconds ahead of Crazy Hurdler in 2nd place. Lots of people joining us in the chat as well tonight, which is very nice to see. But a battle starting to happen here between Bat Me God down the inside. Didn't see that one coming. He's going to try and put it around the outside line then of the Haas. Coming back for the revenge once he got past him. Bat Me God, though, back ahead into 3rd place. Elmer's trying to push him, but Bat Me is ahead into 3rd, and that is it. The revenge has been served. That is very nice indeed from the Red Bull, and he is now into 3rd place in this Grand Prix. And all of a sudden, we are reaching numbers of 17 in the chat, which has come out of absolutely nowhere. It's good to see you all. Today, I know Nike's probably got his beer in hand and watching along. But here we go then, down towards turn 1. Crazy Hurdler still leading. Bat Me God in 2nd. JC now into 3rd place, and he's going to go for 2nd as well. That was brilliant stuff, and the strategy has worked wonders for the Sauber. It is the 2 Saubers locking out the front row, and the 2 Saubers on for a 1-2 finish here in the Grand Prix today. Still a long little while to go before the end, 12 laps before that ends up happening, but wow. The Sauber's strategies have worked out perfectly. Crazy Hurdler is ahead in this race. He's on 16 lap hold hards. He could still go to the end on them, but they're going to be very dead before he gets there, so I'm not sure if he's going to pit before the end. Maybe try and gain a big gap before he can, but we'll see. Yeah, we'll see what will happen between that. The 2 Saubers, though, the story of that is the 2 Saubers are doing well, looking for a 1-2 finish today, and that is really going to benefit the team. As currently in the constructors standings, the Sauber are in P6 at the moment with what do they have? 139 points then the Sauber team have at the moment, as opposed to the leaders of Mercedes with 255. The 2 Mercedes boys aren't doing as good as you'd expect them to do though today. As of course you can see Betty P4, you can see Gambit down in P10. Gambit's well out of position, that man, normally winning races, but today just hasn't been his day. He did go into the pit lane, he's got the new tyres on, but there's a battle going on here between Bat Me God, Betty and Melody, sorry. Betty into P4, I've got that completely wrong. Melody into P4, and Betty drops back to 5 then in this race, everybody. And speaking of the Mercedes not doing well, he drops down even further from where he was, unfortunately. But wow, racing so far has been great. There's 11 laps to go in this Grand Prix. The 2 Saubers have really shocked us today. They've really done well up at the front, with a 5-second gap between them, and behind that, Bat Me God trying to chase them down, with Melody joining in the action. Betty's not too far away. Elmez is there as well. Moving down the grid, there's nothing really too much going on. People coming in pods then at the moment, but ooh, Melody shooting that a bit deep there, but trying to catch the backside of Bat Me God. Melody then, he got through past Betty, and he's going to get through past Bat Me God as well into 3rd place. He's ahead there into the stadium section. This man's been ahead a lot of the time. He pits to get the new tyres on. He went long on his hards. He got the new mediums on, 2 lap old now. Third place is all in his hands. It is great so far on lap 26 of 36, and look at that, 10 laps to go now. It's gone very fast indeed. Hello to the 17 of you joining us at the moment. It's a bit of a jump from the 5 we had earlier. I don't know where you've all came from, but 10 laps to go that you can watch and enjoy, with the 2 Saubers looking like they could go and take a 1-2. Penalties today are looking, I wouldn't say looking too bad. Apart from the 2 guys at the back of Venom and Murderer, both on 16 and 15 second penalties. The rest on 3 seconds. That's JC, Bat Me God, Rated, and RJ in today's race. Yeah, you can see position changes as well. Bat Me God up 6 then in this Grand Prix today. He's been up very much, quite a lot. JC, of course, starting on pole. He's going to be wanting to get back up there from where he started. He's in second place at the moment with a 3.8 second gap to his teammate. He's going to have to try and gain. Fastest final sector for Melody as well. And down into turn 1, we've got another battle cooking up. Betty on the backside of Bat Me God. It is down the inside. It was absolutely light work for Betty there. And he's through to P4. He did make a bit of contact with the rear tyres. Bit of wheel banging. That's just racing for you. And Betty's into P4. Nobody harmed. Oh, what is going on here? Big battles then going on from behind. RJ involved in this one. Racing F1 as well. On air with Mike is there. Gambit's there. Elmit's there. Elmas is there. This is a lovely, lovely battle. Murderer gets a 3-second penalty. This is the closest we've seen people for a good little while. Bat Me God with a 3-second penalty, everybody, in this race. The penalty is still racking up, but they're not too bad at this moment in time, with 9 laps to go before we reach the very end. The finishing point of this race as we cross the line, it could be a kick Sauber 1 and 2 as Elmas with a 3-second penalty. But a nice battle forming up from behind, maybe down into the long, long straight we've got before the turn 1. We're going to get a move because there's a big long train of guys, and of course the DRS is going to come into full effect, and the slipstream too, as here we go. Let's head down towards turn 1. Very long run before we get down towards the first corner. Nobody looking like they can really give us anything at the moment. But they are very clean, very close together, and that is exactly what we like to see here at Helheim. Brilliant racing from everybody so far, and the 2 Saubers lining the front row of the grid with 1 and 2. Crazy Hurdler up 5. This man definitely deserves this win if he can go ahead and do so. He hasn't even picked up a penalty today, so doing his best to try and stay ahead. His teammate starting on pole, and he's doing well to keep him at bay. Maybe that's because of the tyres. It can't be because of the tyres, can it? Because he's on 20 lap old hards and JC's on 12 lap old hards. Crazy Hurdler is just driving his heart out. He's on the older tyres and he's still showing that he's fast out here today in Mexico. But 8 laps to go in this Grand Prix. Is it 8? Oh, it is 8. That's gone very fast, hasn't it? As I think there's yellow flags going around there into the pit lane. Someone in the pit lane, or somebody crashed out. What's happened there? Down the straight. No, somebody going slow, isn't it? Oh, never mind. They've already retired. It's a Murderer down in 13. Out of this race then, everybody. RJ getting through past Bat Me God. What a move then down into turn 1. Who's going to get the better exit? Who's going to get the better drive? It's the Red Bull that has to drop back then. And RJ into 6th position. He is ahead of the pack. Bat Me God 7th. Gambit in 8th then. Trying to dive it down the inside. Very nearly contact there. Hitting the backside of the Red Bull as well. The Mercedes. Bit disorientated there, going through the corner, hitting left, right and centre, but can he try and make his move past the Red Bull? He's on the backside, he's going to try and dive it down the inside. I didn't think he'd do it. He does it. It's an absolute balls of steel from the Mercedes. He's going to hang it around the outside line. They're both going off the track here. Who's going to get ahead? Gambit with a penalty as well. He's going to still hold it around the outside, and he gets the position that he's waiting for. P7 for the Mercedes. It was a brilliant move. Absolutely brilliant stuff, and he's into 7th position for Gambit. Betty in P4. Now the two Mercedes suddenly starting to do a little bit better in this Grand Prix. Jeffrey, love this. Clean professional driving and decent commentary. What more could you ask for on a cold, wet Sunday? I mean, brilliant stuff. Danny inside, kick Melody, trying to spoil this Sauber party, everybody. And he's gone ahead and done just that. It isn't looking like a Sauber 1-2 anymore, because out of absolutely nowhere, we've got Kick Melody taking the grid by storm. He takes the lead. You can see in the background the two Saubers struggling to keep up with him. He's on the 7-lap-old mediums as opposed to the 14-lap-old hards and the 22-lap-old hards. This man has got all the advantage on his side. He has got a penalty, but Kick Melody is definitely advantage to him. It is looking like it could be more so his race win today. He has got the penalty. Maybe that's going to affect him, but the guy behind him's got a 3 as well, so that's going to cancel it out, and that isn't even going to do anything about it. So Melody is on for the race win today. Five laps to go in this Grand Prix, and Kick Melody took the grid by storm. The two Saubers struggling. Betty is into the pit lane then at the very end. I knew he'd have to go into the pit lane. I knew he'd have to stop, and he did. And he's gone in and got on the new, surely it's the softs now, unless he didn't have any sets. And he's gone for the mediums then at the end. Venom with a 3-second penalty at the very end of this race. Elmes though, P9, as he gets through past the man in the pit lane of Betty. Gambit in P5, RJ dropping back to P6 then. It's a lot of drivers now with a 3-second penalty. Venom though with a 19 in this race today. The Saubers doing absolutely everything they can to gain towards the McLaren and make it that 1-2 for the Saubers again. At the moment it isn't looking like it's going to swing that way, because Kick Melody P1 is very much setting an example today with a half-a-second gap between the Saubers on his medium compound tyres. Definitely advantage to the McLaren. He is most likely to be able to pull ahead now and not let the Sauber through. But JC, on the older hard compound tyres, has he got the speed to get the overtake on the McLaren? It's looking likely then as we're going to head round the final corner. Lap 31 of 36. And the Sauber is going to chase down Melody. Can he make the move before the end? Venom with another 10-second penalty. It's a 29-second penalty for Venom. It's not good for him today. JC also can't gain. And look at that behind. Crazy Hurdler left in the distance. 2.8-second gap between him and his teammate. Just shows that JC's been pulled along by Melody, but the man behind has been pulled. It's been dropped off. I hope you're enjoying so far, everybody. It's nice to have Crit in the chat as well. This man normally racing is joining us here today. Of course, the co-owner of what a brilliant league this is. But joining us in the chat to give us the invites. The insights into this race. I was just reading the chat, that's why. But anyway, lap 32 of 36 then. 4 laps to go before we reach the end of this race. I hope I haven't missed too many battles from behind, everybody, but the battle up front has been pretty good. I'm not too sure there's anything going on between these guys. Maybe On Air with Mike can make a move on RJ soon. It's a possibility. But at the moment, isn't looking like that is going to happen. Maybe down into turn 1 there, of course, like I mentioned, the big long run down into the lead, down into turn 1. It is very much possible with 3 laps to go before we reach the end. And the V car is going to push on then to try and get the move on the McLaren of RJ in 6. That man, 2.5 seconds behind Gambit. Mike, 2 tenths behind RJ. Can he make that move? He made it look very easy down the inside. He absolutely breezed through into P6. Not really any effort really needed there. And P6 is all his then through past RJ. Next on his list to overtake is Gambit, if you can go ahead and do so. But 3 laps to go in this Grand Prix. Melody still leading now by nearly a second from JC. This man trying to pull him back, trying to reel him in with that small bit of rope that he's got, but at the moment it isn't working out for him here today. 3 more before we reach the end of this race. 12 people that we've got racing today. It's been very clean. It really has. Always is clean, but today's been extra clean as we have lost Romerda and Peter, unfortunately, as they are both gone. Venom did have a mechanical issue earlier on. He got it sorted, and he's still finding himself in P12 with 19 seconds of penalties. He served his 10-second in the pit lane, and he's 1 minute and 7 seconds behind T-Pain. So Venom is pretty much out of this race. He will still pick up points, I believe, with P12. But here we go. JC trying to get through past Melody into the lead. And JC, that is one of the Saubers through to try and get their party back on. There he is into the lead. And Melody dropping back to second. Crazy Hurdler, though, is nowhere to be seen. If Crazy Hurdler can gain a bit of time, he could just make it a kick Sauber 1-2. Is it raining the stars then for the 2 boys up at the front? Kick Melody's in the middle of them both. He's got a 3-second penalty. JC's got a 3-second as well. He is not letting this one slide. There's 2 laps to go before the end. Could it be a Sauber 1-2? When they cross that line, it might just happen. Here we go then. We're going to head towards the line once again. It's lap 35 and 36. And rated F1 into P3. Crazy Hurdler, though, is going to try and not let that one slide. They've all got 3 seconds of penalties. Kick Melody then is into the lead once again as well up at the front. But this time around, Crazy Hurdler is down to P4. And the hopes and dreams of the Saubers taking a 1 and 2 isn't looking likely today at the moment. JC is not even leading this race anymore, and the Saubers, it looks like they're going to lose out on what they've worked for all this race along. Melody equally deserves it. He's in the lead of the race with the 3-second penalty, and even with everybody around him with the penalties, he will still take that win at this moment in time with 2 laps to go before the very end. Melody has drove his heart out. He absolutely deserves today's win. JC deserves it equally as well. Rated as well. He's done very well. He deserves that podium at this moment in time. But there's Crit says penalties to go into break hearts here, and we're going to head round then towards the end of this lap, and we're going to make it the final lap of the Grand Prix here in Mexico City. It is Kick Melody that leads on the final lap before the end. Who is going to take this win today then? Kick Melody leading this race. JC sat in second, rated in third. Crazy Hurdler in 4. Melody, JC and rated with 3 seconds of penalties. Crazy Hurdler, if he got close enough, it could be his day, to be fair, but isn't looking like it at the moment because there's a 5.8 second gap between Rated and JC. This is looking close. JC down the inside. They both go around at the very end. It is Melody and JC both going around. Here comes Rated and Crazy Herder on the last lap of the race. They're both fighting absolutely the hardest you've ever seen them fight for it. Is Crazy Herder very nearly going around them on the last lap of this Grand Prix. Somehow, Melody and JC are still in this race and still leading, but the gap is now 1.8. Nobody expected it. Absolutely nobody expected it towards the end, but the DRS game is over for the 1 and 2 at the moment. And JC isn't looking like he can go ahead and take it. Equally, Melody has fought hard for this one as well. He absolutely deserves it. And for the McLaren team, they're in the standings today, are currently sat in second place. He's going to try and help them get to the lead. Kick Melody crosses the line as a race winner here in Mexico City. JC takes second, third place actually on penalties. It's Crazy Hurdler who takes second place. But Melody, the man to spoil the Kick Sauber party today. It's Crazy Hurdler second, JC in third, Rated takes four with Gambit in five, Mike in six, Betty seven. Not a strong day for the Mercedes boys, still some decent points though. RJ in eight, as Elmez 9, Batmigod in 10, T-Pain will cross the line in P11. Round off today's Grand Prix as Venom's already finished down in P12, but what a race that was, 36 laps in, and Crazy Hurdler in second place. Wow, it always gets exciting at the end. Two people spinning around, the race leaders as well, spinning around. That was brilliant. But Crazy Hurdler with the driver of the day in the game. But here you have your finishing results. Well, in a moment actually, you got your podium celebrations. But here we go, finish results down for the Grand Prix. It's Kick Melody then, taking the win today. He absolutely fully deserved that then with the points. I think he's going to get 36 points after that one today. Crazy Hurdler, second place then. The two Saubers couldn't do it today. It's second and third for them though. They're both on the podium. As Rated F1 in 4, Gambit 5 on air with Mike in 6, Betty 7, RJ in 8, Elmez 9, and MatMeGod takes P10. Thank you very much for joining me, everybody. I haven't really been looking at the chat as much as I normally would. I'm just trying to focus on the racing. But thank you all for being in here. We've had a very active chat today. A lot of stuff going on. And I do very much appreciate it. Uncle Lando says, Jack, get me in now. I absolutely will. It comes down to, I think they're going to test you, aren't they, or whatever. But you'd easily get in, mate. You're definitely what they're looking for. But brilliant finish today. It was a brilliant race. You're very welcome, Critical, and I will see you all next Sunday for our league, and of course back again here for Helheim Racing. Good night.
Track Titan is the fastest way to become a better sim racer, with highly personalized insights assuring that you get the coaching that you need. Track Titan automatically records your driven laps and lets you pinpoint exactly where you're making mistakes, where you're losing time, and how you can fix it. When you sign up with Track Titan, you'll be able to analyze your driving, learn about tracks in the academy, and participate in driving challenges and community races.
And leaping off the line whilst Ryan needs to defend from Max 7, and Max 7's up, and Max 7's well up.
Allowing you to improve your sim racing at your own pace and in a friendly and helpful community. The Track Titan analysis doesn't just show you exactly where you're losing time, but also what faster drivers are doing differently than you, from racing lines to steering inputs. This way you're not only made aware